Welcome back to Project Aviate. Today we're diving into the story of one of the most iconic and daring jets ever to touch the sky, the Grumman F-8 Crusader, famously known as the Last Gunfighter. Strap in, because this isn't just a story about a fighter jet, it's a story about speed, skill, and the final era when air combat was decided by the man behind the stick and the guns under his wings. The scene opens on a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier at dawn. The deck is alive with activity, crew members hustling through mist and sunlight glinting off the ocean waves. Then the roar of a jet engine breaks the calm. The F-8 Crusader launches from the catapult, its afterburner blazing orange against the morning light, a symbol of raw American engineering power and Cold War intensity. From the very first glance, the Crusader looked different. Sleek, sharp, and fast, it wasn't just another jet. It was a machine built for one purpose: to dominate the skies. As we close in on its nose and cockpit, the design speaks volumes. Those twin 20 cannon ports sitting proudly near the fuselage weren't decorative, they were a reminder that this fighter came from an era when aerial combat was still personal. Pilots didn't rely solely on radar locks or heat-seeking missiles, they relied on reflexes, precision, and guts. Imagine a squadron of F-8 Crusaders slicing through the blue Pacific sky, their silver wings glimmering in formation. The Cold War was heating up, and America's Navy needed a jet that could not only intercept enemy aircraft but win dogfights the old-fashioned way. The Crusader delivered both, earning its place as the Navy's first true supersonic fighter. On the carrier deck, the pilots walk with quiet confidence. Helmet in hand, visor down, the hum of jet engines filling the air. These weren't just pilots, they were gladiators stepping into a steel arena. The Crusader's nickname wasn't an exaggeration. It was the last operational U.S. Navy jet to rely primarily on guns for air-to-air combat, and that earned it a place in aviation legend. Step inside the cockpit and you'll see why this aircraft demanded the best. The controls were tight, the view was narrow, and everything about it screamed performance. The pilot's hands gripped the stick, eyes focused on the gun sight. This wasn't about pushing buttons, this was about skill, timing, and instinct. Every dogfight meant split-second decisions, victory or death decided by fractions of a second. Now picture the skies over Vietnam. The roar of jet engines echoes through the clouds as an F-8 Crusader streaks toward a formation of MiG-17s. The pilot rolls hard to the left, squeezing the trigger. The Crusader's 20 cannons unleash a storm of fire. Tracer rounds streak across the sky, catching an enemy jet in their path. This is what made the Crusader legendary. It could fight missile-equipped jets and still win using guns. In that moment, you understand the meaning of the Last Gunfighter. The world was shifting to missiles and radar locks, but here was a jet and a generation of pilots proving that dogfighting wasn't dead yet. The Crusader demanded respect not just from the enemy but from anyone who flew it. Back on the carrier, the F-8 comes in for landing. The pilot lowers the arrestor hook, lining up perfectly with the deck. It touches down, the hook catching the wire in a burst of steam and motion. Every landing on a carrier is a test of precision, but with the Crusader's high-speed performance and tricky approach angle, it was even more unforgiving. Pilots used to joke that you didn't fly the Crusader, you wrestled it. But that challenge was part of what made it so loved by those who mastered it. Night falls, and under the glare of floodlights, maintenance crews work tirelessly. Panels are open, engines checked, every bolt and rivet inspected. The Crusader wasn't easy to maintain, but it was worth it. This aircraft was more than metal, it was a living, breathing symbol of a time when skill outweighed automation. Fast forward to the flight deck again, this time the Crusader sits among older aircraft from the jet and propeller era. Its design stands out, bridging the gap between the past and the future. It carried the soul of the WWII dogfighters but the speed and edge of the jet age. It was the perfect balance between man and machine. In the Vietnam War, Crusader pilots became legends. Some scored victories using pure marksmanship, relying on those cannons even when missiles failed. One pilot described it best: "In the Crusader you felt like you were part of the jet. It didn't fly for you, it flew with you." That bond between pilot and plane is rare, and it's what turned this aircraft from a machine into a legacy. As missile technology advanced, new aircraft like the F-4 Phantom took over the skies, emphasizing radar and long-range combat. But something was lost along the way. The Crusader marked the end of the true gunfighter era, when aerial duels were fought up close, face to face. It was the last time pilots would feel the recoil of their guns echoing through the cockpit as they fought for the skies. Now imagine the Crusader soaring high above the clouds, sunlight reflecting off its wings. Its missile pylons hint at the changing times, but those cannons still sit proudly in the fuselage, a reminder of where it all began. The Crusader didn't just bridge generations, it defined one. As the sun sets, an F-8 glides across the horizon, its silhouette painted orange by the fading light. It's more than just an aircraft, it's a symbol of the end of an era. The transition from gunfights to guided warfare wasn't just technological, it was emotional. For the pilots who flew the Crusader, every flight was personal. Every victory was earned, not programmed. Today, you can still find the F-8 Crusader standing proudly in museums and airshows. Its metallic frame polished, its story preserved. People walk past it, some unaware of what it represents. But for those who know, it's a tribute not just to the machine but to the men who flew it, the last generation of true dogfighters. As the crowd at a modern airshow looks up, a restored Crusader takes off once more. Its engines roar across the sky, echoing the sound of history. In that moment, you can almost feel the spirit of those pilots, bold, fearless, and free. The Grumman F-8 Crusader wasn't just another aircraft. It was the embodiment of human skill in an age that was quickly moving toward automation. It proved that even in the face of change, there's something timeless about courage, instinct, and the love of flying. That's why the F-8 will always be remembered not just as a machine but as a legend, the last gunfighter. If you enjoyed this story and the legacy of this incredible aircraft, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and join us again here on Project Aviate, where aviation history comes alive. Until next time, keep your wings level and your eyes on the horizon.